This is an interesting thing that we've got going here. We'll go with it. Let's do this. Let's tilt it up a little. Should we just do this? Should we just go like this? See if we can get it to stay fluffy. This is fun. What are we gonna babble about today? It's a great question. I'm gonna give it a little bit. Let some people show up. Let some people show up in the chat. I do truly enjoy when people kind of, join us in the chat, because then that gives me something to talk about. Because as you know by now, if you watched any of these things for any duration, you're going to know a few things. One, I'm not always in my PJs, but now I currently am. Two, I rarely have anything planned. And three, there is no three, because I didn't really know what I was going to talk about to begin with. And I thought it was one of those things where I would just say, and three, something would come to mind. But here we are. Catfish, good morning to you. How you doing? I also have a bagel. What did you have for breakfast? Let's see. We got cinnamon raisin. It's good. I think we need a new toaster, though, because I've noticed that our toaster has kind of like some hot zones and some cool zones. I want uniform warm zones. Speaking of warm zones, holy crap, it's cold here. I know, everyone's like, well, it's worse here. I'm sorry. It would probably be better if our windows weren't really poor. They, builder grade aluminum windows, while they're double paned, they're not very insulating. Think it might have something to do with them being aluminum? Maybe. Anyway, we're not here talking about my windows anymore, because we were just a second ago. Ooh. So Hank's got some leftover pizza. I have some leftover pizza in the fridge, but I didn't. Fruit Loops. Nice. I haven't had Fruit Loops in like 1,000 years. Ooh. Countertop pizza makers. Like a pizza pizzazz, because I have one of those. Those are kind of fun. You guys familiar with the pizza pizzazz? Well, so it's like this little unit. It's got like a little rotating tray, and it's got a heating element on top and a heating element on the bottom, and you can control it. It's a really good way to reheat pizza, because it makes it nice and crisp. And it's also, if you are into like snacks, like mozzarella sticks, which I don't really do, but many people do. I'm in the wrong here. Or like dinosaur chicken nuggets, which is what when TJ was still, before TJ moved out, we would and sometimes when we just couldn't really deal with the idea of dinner, we would have what I call 5-year-old dinner. And 5-year-old dinner is, you get some dinosaur chicken nuggets and like one of those like containers of mac and cheese, or maybe mashed potatoes if you want to mix it up. So we have 5-year-old dinner, and yes, many nights we would have 5-year-old dinner. But you make the dinosaur chicken nuggets on the pizzazz. I mean, it's fun to watch them go around, but they get real crispy and they're really good. So that's my bit about the I think it's the Presto Pizzazz pizza oven. It's not really an oven technically, but like, Catfish, is that what you were talking about, the countertop pizza makers? I don't know that I really want an appliance that's dedicated just for pizza making, because I mean, I'm kind of oven, but anyway. Ooh, chiming in about air fryers. We don't have an air fryer. We've got one of those instant pot kind of things, which we do use very often. Yes, it was. Cool. All right. That's fun. Let's kind of recap the week, shall we? It was really cold. I'm trying to remember what we did this week, and I'm having a tough time, really. I think some of it was, well, a lot of, so, okay, so Tuesday, we shipped all of our stuff to the show. And all of our stuff, all of the stands for that Perry will be using. So we shipped all that out. There was one guitar. My last NAMM guitar was supposed to arrive Monday, and that was Martin Luther King Day, and it's still a day that like FedEx delivers, I think, but that was a really cold day. Like the high here, and like this always inspires people. Like, oh, that's not so bad. Just be cool. The high was like 20, and while the shop is insulated, it's not heated, and it's better than the garage for sure. But it was really cold, and so we had I have various space heaters that we can strategically place, but you can't plug. Those things really, really, really put a drain, quite a pull on the breakers, on the electric system. It's real easy to trip breakers when you've got multiple heaters. So we had to. Many times I was going out to the breaker box, which is outside, and like there's a screw that holds the door shut, and it was just not fun. But it is. Thank you, Chris. It is very cold for Texas. Like it'll get that cold in the evening, like overnight. It's not usually. We'll have a stretch when that's kind of like the high, but yeah, it's cold. But I also know that, my relatives up in, hey, I almost kind of did, I didn't even mean to, up in Chicago, days when it was, high of 17 to 20, they would say, oh, well, at least it's not 7 below. Well, yes, at least it isn't 7 below. And I'm so sorry that my suffering is not as strong as yours at the moment. Suffering is relative, and also best avoided. I think that's really my official platform here, is that suffering best avoided if you can. Don't cause others to suffer, and then when you are suffering, try your best to get through it, like a bagel. Shut up. So, let's see. Drew, top of the morning to you. Now, Drew, I know your real last name, and I know it's not IV, so I'm assuming that you are Drew, last name the fourth. Is that correct? So, that's pretty cool. Because I'm a 6. Froze. I'm a 6, and there's a 7, but it ended at 7, which, it's a good run. Like, if there's an 8, were you going to name your kid Ocho? I probably would. Or at least we'd just call him Ocho. Oof, 8 degrees in Alabama right now. let's avoid that. Let's not have that. But then here's Big Ball Dave, -13 Celsius in Toronto. Or Toronto. Or Toronto. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, bro. That's what I thought. All right. All right. Rob, good morning to you. Line ends here. Well, you got to draw the line somewhere. That's one thing that we should have learned a few ways from our friends Aerosmith. Know where to draw the line. Or is it nowhere? Is it nowhere to draw the line? Or there's nowhere to draw the line? We're just so far at the edge. I don't know. Plenty on Cinco for the 5th, but my second thought is, there you go. That's a good, all right, that's cool. I like it. I like it. So see, here we go. Need to shovel. Boo. Yeah, that's not fun. We did get a little teeny tiny bit of snow like Monday morning, but nothing that really got in the way of people getting around. So good times. Okay. So that was Monday. FedEx did not show up, even though tracking said that it had been in an out for delivery status since like 3:19 Monday morning. And so I sat there all day until about, I think it's about 6:30. I waited for them. Real kind of not thrilled about that, but like, it's like, here's the other thing. And so that particular guitar, the last one for the show, because we weren't driving this time, you have to ship the stuff and give yourself enough time to ship. Because like generally, if I'm shipping something to California, if it goes on a Monday, it'll be there Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, so on and so forth. And so since the guitar hadn't come back to me before our shipping cutoff, or was gonna show up just right on the shipping cutoff, I was faced with some decisions. And the decision was, do I pay to kind of overnight ship it, that's real expensive, or do I take it on the plane with me? And so I have one of those. I bought one of those Gator mini guitar vaults, which is like that Enki style. And I know that would be fine. That's what it's intended for, but it still makes me real nervous. So there was another guitar that was like, oh, I really don't want to ship this separate. So I've got these two guitars in this vault. So Tuesday, when I schlep over to the airport, I'm going to drag this rather large thing that will not fit in. It's got to be checked. So I'm going to be taking that, and it makes me nervous. But like the people that I've spoken to about this thing, that particular Gator product, they're like, yeah, you'll be okay. You'll be all right. It's going to be fine. So it's a nonstop flight. So I'm sure it's going to be okay. But it does make me a little nervous because so now all the guitars we're taking to NAMM, I think are really cool. I think they're neat. I really like all of them. I really, really like this one, and it is going to be one of those things where I'm like, I want to sell all the guitars. We need to sell all the guitars, but like that is one of those things where it's kind of like, damn it. That guitar where it's like, if it doesn't sell, like, it's all right. But I know that I'm confident that it will sell. And it's really cool. And it's also something that we can continue. We can make more of them. So there's that. That's all, man. I just want to be understood. Chris, you're actually coming in the beginning. I got a late start, so yeah. You're only you only missed 14 minutes of me yammering on about the weather. So that's cool. Me too. So in the boutique guitar showcase where we will be, it's just a table. It's 2 foot by 6 foot table. I could have got a larger space, but I'm really trying to decide is NAMM really worth it? Because I kind of think it isn't. So doing this boutique guitar showcase, it's a little bit of a savings. It's more time savings and more convenient to do that. So, and it's also, I think, a nice, how do I phrase this? Slight, we're going to go over here for just a minute. There are terms, words that are thrown around the industry, certain things that apply to me, but I'm I'm not going around trying to make people call me doctor. Someone say, "Hey, Mr. Sully, doctor." There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. I just don't necessarily like, titles. I'm "Oh, you're a master luthier." You might know. I don't really like the L word. For me, it just seems like these labels kind of get in the way, sort of, or I don't know. There are much better ways to kind of relay this than I am at the moment, but it's just always been kind of uneasy. We talk about, the boutique guitar showcase. It sounds very fancy. And, you walk through there, there's a lot of amazing stuff in there. A lot of people working really hard, doing their best, like we all are. There is an air of fanciness. Now, anybody that knows me well enough knows that while I might be sitting talking to you in my pajamas, and also while I like to think I'm pretty low maintenance, I'm also kind of fancy, I like to think so. And so, I kind of, and there are some other things, happening, that have kind of made me think about these things. And, I remember when I used to do the podcast with Paul, and Doug Cower would be part of it a lot, and, Perry, and I know Doug always kind of embraced the boutique guitar aspect of it, and I always didn't. I guess maybe because maybe because I didn't, and maybe because I don't build acoustics, and maybe because I didn't study under anyone other than trial and error, and I didn't have, I don't, it's like all the things that you think, there's those memes that were going around a million years ago, where it was what my friends think I do, what people think I do, what I actually do, or what I think I do and what I actually do, kind of thing. And, there are these things that people think like, I'm not spending time sharpening chisels. There's nothing wrong with sharpening chisels. Sharp chisels are very helpful. I just, because of how I started, and I didn't start with a woodworking background, um, other than seventh grade wood shop where I made a shelf and I think I made a bowling pin on a lathe. I think that was it. Um, I didn't really enjoy it. I mean, I was in seventh, eighth grade. Um, but I also wasn't particularly good at it. And, uh, that was the extent. And so, I'm not a fine woodworker. I'm more like, it's fine. That's my joke. But, so yeah, because of that, and this is all like my own perception, getting in, the crazy bit inside here. It's all crazy inside there. There's not just a bit. And so, anyway, I've really just resisted that whole thing. I'm not going to go around, calling myself a luthier. I'm a guitar builder. I build guitars. But, what is a boutique guitar company? Is it's, I don't know. I guess it's a pretty, I think kind of, are you doing it, maybe preferably full time? Not that there's anything wrong with doing something part time. It's a lot easy. It's not a lot easier to do it part time. There are some aspects of doing it part time that are certainly more attractive than doing it full time. Done it both. And so anyway, I think I'm just gonna, these guitars that I'm bringing, I like to think, and I know that I've shared before, that it's a nice representation of what we do. There's a nice, there are going to be some representations of pretty and shiny. There are going to be some representations of really fucking cool and maybe not so shiny, all within 5 guitars. And there will be further examples of those things in other booths. The folks at Rev have been kind enough to allow us to put one of our guitars on their booth. Thank you to Kyle and his relationship with Rev for facilitating that. Thank you to Perf DeCastro, who who helped us kind of get in touch with the boutique amps distribution company that, Soldano and Friedman. And so because of that, we're going to have some guitars in their booth. And, I feel really happy about that. We've had guitars in other booths before, and I'm super grateful for that, because it's one of those things where it's like, someone might not stop in a Sully Guitars booth because they don't know what Sully guitars are, and you're walking through and it's just like, I'm here to see this particular brand, and like, I don't know, I saw them and they're pointing something, I don't know, something sparkly. It was Silly Guitars, I don't know, I forget. But like in the past, we've had some guitars in the Victory booth. And so maybe you would grab a Sully at this Victory booth, because there are real limited choices for you to grab a guitar. There's one right there. So it's nice, and it certainly helps. And I think this is just going to be a continuation of that. So I'm glad. I hate to put expectations on something, a point in time, or, a lot of anything really. Like, one thing that I've learned so far is that this continuing to move forward in this manner has been, we keep doing what I'm doing, and, we work with a wide array of people, and of all, levels of stature, so to speak. from people who have been established in the rock and roll world, well established, to those who aren't. And what I've learned is that so far there hasn't really been like a flip of the switch moment. And I don't necessarily think that those things are all that common. And it's really just, and this is like, yeah, dude, no shit. And this is, I've known this for a while. So this isn't anything that like I've kind of, just found out now. But it's like, let's just say someday, let's just say that today, Ace Frehley calls me up and says, hey, how's it going? I need a Sully. I'm not going to play my Les Pauls anymore. That's not really how he sounds, but a friend of mine once taught me that the best way to do an Ace Frehley impersonation is you kind of pretend to make the sound of a rusty screen door closing as you're talking. So let's say Ace called me up and said, I renounce my previous affiliations and I'm all in. And I'd be like, oh, okay, sure. That certainly is going to make a change in some things. Is that something that's going to take what I'm doing right now and then it's going to completely like multiply it by like, no, probably not. And that's fine because like, I don't necessarily need to be like a huge, I don't need to have like this be a huge company. I guess that's what this means. But, like Mr. Burns said, I'd trade it all for a little more. I love that quote. I do use it often. And I know that like, maybe when he said it, maybe it was kind of, it's a very Mr. Burns thing to say. Like, I don't care about things. I would get rid of everything just for more. And I don't necessarily look at it that way. But yes, I'd trade it all for just a little more. But anyway, so I'm not putting any kind of expectations into this show. I don't necessarily think that making the change in how we're displaying, that is going to be the thing that flips the switch and all of a sudden, everything is going to change and everything's going to be, candy and unicorn farts, which actually are candy. But I do think that it will be one of those things that will get a different set of eyes on what we do. The Boutique Guitar Showcase kind of it brings not a different crowd, but it brings a lot of people in to see, the various things. And so maybe let's try and draft off of that a little bit. And maybe, we are a boutique guitar company. We probably always kind of have been. I just don't really, it's not really a title I've wanted to embrace. Just because, I don't know, I know me and I'm like, I'm going to figure this stuff out. There's many times that I often say, I don't know, I'm way too pretty to understand that. And what I'm really saying is, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But so maybe we're going to own that a little bit because, I think we do a pretty good job. I think things can always be improved upon, and I want to improve upon things. But there's obviously only so many ways that I can do that at once, at least. And yeah, so while I don't for a second think that this is going to be something that is going to be like a flip of the switch kind of whatever, I do think that it might be another one of those numerous moments that I've been fortunate enough to have that kind of helps move things forward, kind of raises the awareness of what we do. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Part of that, you know, and this is something that I have had great trepidation over, which has gone out to those of you on the mailing list. And if you're not on the mailing list, please be on the mailing list. Um, I like to think we don't spam people. We don't put out a whole bunch of, we're not sending out an email every week or every day or shit, even every month. I mean, sometimes there will be a couple if we've got stuff going on, but please join the mailing list because you'll know when stuff happens before everybody else. And if that's not enough of an incentive, which I don't really think it's particularly the best incentive in the world, generally mailing list members get first crack and better pricing on guitars, which that might be something that is of value to people. I think we might start putting, promo codes in, when we've used promo codes and stuff like that, maybe we'll send out some specific mailing list promo codes. Who knows? Maybe we'll test it out with whatever's left over from NAMM, if there's anything left over from NAMM. Anyway, see, now there's a testimonial right there from Chris. Good, it's a good mix, not spam. Thank you. Own it, says Perf. Now, Perf has got a great perspective here, because in what Perf does day to day, he works with a lot of different companies and with a lot of different things. He's testing out gear, he's testing out guitars or guitars, gear, amps, and works with a wide stratus. That's not even a word that I want to use, but he works with a wide group of people. Well, they're not wide people. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know who they are. But anyway, so you know what. Works with a lot of different companies. And so I'm going to, maybe I'll just have to put my fancy pants on and be fancy pants. Much like beer brewing, you are a craft builder. Very good small batch brews. I love my Sullys. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that. Your guitar is getting plecked at this very moment. And I won't have it finished. That was part of what we did this week. I took like 6 guitars to get plecked. 392's a NAMM guitar, 7-string Stardust, and something else that I can't remember. 622. Oh, and that's Stardust. Okay, yeah. So those will be, they might be done today for me to pick up. I don't know. But it's probably going to have to, those will be done after the show. Me too. Greetings to Wisconsin. Rodrigo. Hello. Any new shape stuff going to NAMM? Well, I'm not going to say what's there. I have to say that I've done a pretty good job of keeping my dumb mouth shut about what we're taking. It's real hard for me not to post pictures. I will say that the newest shape represented on the Sully guitars at the Sully booth is the Astro, which is still real new. Yes. But we've got a couple of really cool ideas for the Astro. There's a bass that's been drawn up that I have to get around to making. We kind of did it with like a pickguard and stuff, and it kind of has like a ratty kind of vibe to it. And one thing that I do like about the Astro is that it can kind of wear a few different hats. I think you can dress it up, and then I think, like what we're going to do with the bass, it's going to give a whole different kind of vibe to it, and then that vibe might also carry on to the guitar. But like if it does, to me, that's going to make it need to be a bolt, which is dumb because it doesn't need to be. But anyway, so like there's also a client who is going to get the first carved top Astro, so that'll be cool too. I think that it, much like a Stardust can, I think it can appeal to a wide array of people. Granted, I thought, damn it, this would too. This one, it takes a lot of people. It takes time for people to warm up to it, and I think one of the things that I have heard over the over 10 years that I've built 71s, is that, some people love it right off the bat, which I love you. Thank you. And then some people eventually warm up to it, which is cool. And then people, there's a subcategory of people in that group that are like, oh, I played one and now it totally makes sense. Because like, I know it's a single cut and I know that you have certain expectations. It is not your grandfather's single cut. It used to be, it's not your dad's single cut. But I think dad rock has been around long enough to become granddad rock. So, I mean, I listened to Kiss a lot yesterday. So, I mean, look at me, for God's sakes. Let's see. Brandy. Yes, I am. I'm glad that you will be there. I will be in the Fancy Pants Boutique Guitar Builder Showcase. And I don't mean to, when I say fancy pants, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I've got some real fancy pants. They're not on right now, but like I've got like these fun like houndstooth pants that I fucking love them. And they're not fancy, but I mean they're kind of. I mean like they're evening pants, as I like to call them. Do you do that too? Like you get home and you're just like, I gotta like these are also like these are my jammies, but they're also kind of like my evening look. Thank you very much. Yes, most certainly. I'll do some live streams as best as I can. We'll definitely have pictures. I think the level of the quality level of the photos that we'll have at this show probably won't be as good as as previous shows because, Beto, who works with Ormsby, is not going to be there. Like Beto is photo dude, and since we were right next to each other, he would take pictures for me, so we won't have that, unfortunately, but I will post all kinds of photos as best as I can. And then so like Kyle, Kyle's my heart, Kyle is my love. No, Kyle's just great. Kyle, who helps with the socials and marketing, will be there. He'll be there in an official capacity, but he's not like trying to be at the booth every single day, or being even at the show every single day, which is fine. But so, I'm sure maybe Kyle will take some photos. We'll see. But yes, we will. I will do my best to have as much coverage as possible. I'm leaving on Tuesday. Show is Thursday through Sunday. See, thank you. Kiss doesn't love me, they love my money. So, yeah. But I did, my buddy Brian, who is at the Guitar Sanctuary, a huge Kiss fan. Maybe I think Brian appreciates Kiss more than I do. In that, I think he appreciates them more than I do. I get pangs of where I enjoy listening to them. Although I will say that over the last couple of years, I've probably listened to more 80s non-makeup Kiss than I have like in a very long time. Because like I think like so with Adam, here's something. Adam, who is I don't know how he's not straight up murdered me yet. I say that like because it's it's funny, but it's also true. Like he knows how insane I am. And sometimes I'm a little snappy, and sometimes I'm a little, some people, and how when we talk about how people respond to certain things, I am an exploder, which is not great. And there are many times when we'll all just be kind of working along, and sometimes it'll be actually quiet, and you'll hear me go, "Motherfucker!" and that's because I just did something that I didn't want to do. I explode, and Adam is not an exploder, and maybe that's part of why we get along so well, or maybe that's why he's been able to not straight up murder me as much or as often as he probably should. See, and so and Catfish knows too. Like he's known me since 8th grade. He knows. He knows. I think he knows like my peak craziness. Yeah. I'm kind of maybe I like to think I'm not as bad now, but I'm kind of a nightmare. And so, yeah. So going back to the point is like, I'll ask Adam, if Adam and I were to maybe go get dinner. Hey, what do you feel like eating? Oh man, I don't know. What do you want? I want a decision. Adam, please give me something. And so, what do you want to listen to? Put on whatever. I don't care. I know you don't want to listen to The Cure all day, but sometimes I make you listen to The Cure all day. But so I try and find things that he might like, and so, oh God, where was I going with this? Damn it! I completely lost it. I'm sorry. Man, I had somewhere I was going with this too. Other than like, I don't know how he hasn't murdered me. Because like driving to go out to NAMM and like being like with me and all of this for, like 2 weeks or so, at a time, because like, we leave a couple days early and drive, and we're in a van together, and like, I always wind up driving because like I'm a terrible passenger. And, I think I'm a terrible passenger in a lot of different, aspects. Yeah, I think that's true. I think I just kind of, yeah, I think it's not that I'm a control freak. Because I don't think that I'm a control freak, but I don't know, maybe I am, and I just don't know it. Anyway. Oh, John, thank you. Thank you. So when we were talking at one point, I had asked Adam about like, what his favorite bands are, what his favorite guitar players are. Like, you give me something. Who's your top 5 guitar players, or your 5 favorite guitar players? I'll give you a list. Like Adam might be a little more nebulous. And so, we were talking about Kiss, and like, I know like Adam's frame of reference for Kiss is like maybe Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, 80s Kiss. And I liked some of that, but like when Crazy Nights came out, I'm like, I'm out. This is bad. And so, but anyway, so we do listen to a lot more of that in the shop, because like, again, I'll listen to The Cure all day, and like I love that shoegaze has really made a really huge comeback, because like that sound, oh, it just always hits me right. And so I'll listen to that all day, and I'm like, maybe they don't want to hear this. And I'm like, oh, nobody's saying anything, and maybe nobody cares, or maybe it's because they've heard this cover of Cities in Dust a million times, and it's just like, oh, this is what are you listening to? Anyway, whatever. I sound stressed. Pre-NAMM, it's gonna be okay. Thanks, buddy. No, I am. I think this is my constant state, but thank you. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Your friend appreciates Kiss more than you, and you've been listening to more non-ma. Oh, I can't see the rest of the... You said it in way fewer words. Bye, Chris. Favorite guitar player. Here's 5. So, like, when I say favorite guitar players, these are generally like one... Well, whatever. It's Ace, Joe Perry, Randy, Lindsey Buckingham, Jake. Those are my top 5. It's not to say that I think Ace is better than, or Jake is better than, or whatever. Those are like, those are my kind of my foundations. Even though like I don't have any musical influence from Lindsey Buckingham, because let's face it, I am not that talented. But I love listening to Lindsey. Yeah, like, okay, so I didn't get Lick It Up when it came out, because like, whatever, I was like 12, and I didn't know. But I remember I was at my friend Mark's house, and we watched the Kiss Animalize live uncensored, like, when it was the MTV concert. And, those of you who have seen that, I imagine all of you have. I know I can do this, and it'll be funny. Ready? That's all I have to do. And I really liked that. I thought that was great. I thought it was a great concert. And that's, like Bruce was in the band, and he was brand new, and I'm like, I really like this. It was good. And so I really liked the Animalize record a lot. I think I like Animalize better than Lick It Up. Maybe it's because I was more aware of Animalize at the time. But then when I listened to, if I listen to it now, like all of the lyrics in the Gene songs, and maybe this is maybe it's like throughout the 80s, like lyrically, it's all word salad. It's just like lines, and like they don't necessarily agree with one another. It's just a line. Or there'll be like 2 lines, like one statement, the resolution of that statement. Let's go on to the next statement, resolution of that, and then that going to the first, like they don't agree. Anyway. And so I liked, so Animalize I really liked. Asylum came out, and I remember talking with my friend Derek, who was the other guitar player in the band, my first band that I was in. We were like, so Asylum came out, what, like 85, maybe 86? I don't know. God, what if it was 87? It probably wasn't. Whatever, who cares? I was in high school, and like, I'm like, did you buy Asylum? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what do you think of it? He's like, I don't know. I think you got to kind of grind it in. And I agree. And Asylum was one, like, I have it on vinyl that I bought when it came out. But like, I didn't really listen to it much after, like the album cycle, so to speak. And then I guess Crazy Nights was next. And I remember seeing the world premiere video of Crazy Nights on MTV. And to me, it was so the production on it. And this is not something I was paying attention to as a kid, but like that, the way that song sounded and the way the video is very, to me, it sounded like a beer commercial. And that was my reaction of it at the time. It was like, this sounds like a beer commercial. I don't like this song. It's dumb. And then, whatever. And so then I kind of fell off. And then, but anyway, we've been listening to a lot of non-makeup era Kiss, and I've given Asylum another shot lately. Bruce on Asylum was way shreddier than I remember Bruce being. But anyway, my top 5 are Brian May, Andy Summers, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Billy Gibbons, Eric Johnson. All very, 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 very worthy of being in the top 5. Plug into the Soldano. Wouldn't that be something? I am not taking that 71 to NAMM. I almost maybe kind of did, or at least was open to it, but it's going to stay here with me. It's going to stay home. Thank you, Randy. I always thought Lick It Up was great. Yeah, I remember like you were really into the Lick It Up album. And oh my God, you know what? So this is real. All right, why not? This is just for my buddy Catfish. So I remember when I was in Stick 'Em Up. Yes, I was in a band called Stick 'Em Up. Stick-M-Up. And where's the switch? Found it. Wait, let's make sure we're okay. There is no standby switch on this. Let's get over to the fun town. Oops, that works. Okay. So when I was in Stick 'Em Up, and then we had that song Kiss Off. So I remember you saying at the time, "Oh, it sounds like Give Me More off Lick It Up." And I'm like, I don't know that song. And I finally heard it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's it. Thank you. I know that I didn't see the world premiere video at your house, but it was like definitely right in that time. You're not contemporary. Animalize is my peak Kiss fandom as well. Yeah, Animalize is good. I think it's 4717-19. It's in the Boutique Guitar Showcase. So come say hi. Luis, I hope to enjoy the beautiful Sully Babes greetings from Colombia. Nice. Which guitar players do I know from Colombia? None. Now I know you. So you are the only one. Got kicked out about 4 to 5 minutes ago. Oh, from the stream? Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm out of tune, but whatever, who cares? But one thing that I noticed about we're talking about, non-makeup era Kiss, like that first Vinnie Vincent album, if there was a way that you could just like skip the solos, like you skip a commercial, it would be infinitely more enjoyable. But all of those songs could have been like Kiss tunes. Anyway, so this is fun. I really like this a lot. Again, I'm out of tune. Not too bad. There it is. Somebody give me an A. Close enough. Sounds really good. That's the green, and this is the blue. Purple. And then my favorite, red. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. So, Anyway, we're going to wind up. This is going to end in about 4.5 minutes. Give me an A, and the drummer goes into a drum solo. Okay, thank you. This reminds me of the time I did a live stream at my dad's house with Catfish, where I had a tuner clipped onto my lip, and I would try and hum and say, "I'm going to do an A." Oh, I'm flat. That was a G. Sorry, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's real good. Sounds great. Yes. Come say hi. So that's pretty much that. I want to thank all of you for all of your support, whether it's watching this, whether it's buying a guitar, whether it's both, whether it's none of those things. And if so, you're not seeing this anyway, but still, I appreciate you. I am looking forward to this show. Like I said, I'm going to manage my expectations. NAMM is always a roller coaster. A roller coaster for me of hopes and crashed dreams and hopes and whatever and fulfilled dreams and that sort of thing. It's a roller coaster is what it is. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm managing my expectations as best as I can. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be great to see people that I haven't seen in years. I'm really looking forward to seeing my buddy Omer's really cool AI-based guitar. And I remember when I decided I was going to do this, chatting with him about the Boutique Guitar Showcase, and it's been a while, and he had told me that he was working on a guitar that was going to be an art piece, and boy is it. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that in person. I'm looking forward to sharing some pretty cool guitars that have summer and finishes that we haven't done. Some that we have, and I don't know. I think right now, I think what we have right now, it's definitely more concentrated. And I remember as I'm kind of packing things up, going, God, I wish we had room for like one more guitar or whatever, because I'm just so used to trying to bring as much as I possibly can. But I think that the guitars that we have are a really concentrated, very focused, really good representation of what it is that we're doing and what we want to do going forward. So, so that's good. Getting somewhere. Yeah. So on that note, the rest of my day is I'm going to be taking apart the dryer to, I got to replace the heating element and some fuses in that. So that'll be good. I don't mind doing that. It's fun. And I'm just going to, what? Oh, man. Here, I'll leave you it. Anyway, Black Diamond. See you later. Have a good day. I'm an idiot.